Hi, thanks for joining me today. This sequence is going to be a reclined sequence to focus on some movement for the hips and also a little movement for the core. The only thing that you will need is something to function like a yoga strap. If you have a yoga strap, great. If you don't, you can use a long scarf, you can use a belt, you can use a tie from a bathrobe, anything that, a lead rope for you equestrians. So anything that you have that will work like that. So have that about halfway back on your mat so that when you are lying down, you can easily reach it. And then coming to the end of your mat, feet hip distance apart, find your balance up on your sit bones, hands behind the thighs. Inhale, lift and lengthen up through the crown of the head, and then exhale, draw the belly in and slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your back. So as you come onto your back, we'll come into a reclined mountain pose. So flex the feet so the toes point up towards the ceiling, reach the fingertips down towards the heels, gaze gently up towards the ceiling. You can close your eyes for a few moments if you'd like. Just take a couple breaths to just notice how you're feeling today. Feel the connection that the body's making with the earth. Weight of the head and the shoulders and the hips and the heels, length of the arms and the legs. And just gradually begin to lengthen your inhales and exhales. And then very gently let the eyes open. And as you open the eyes, float the arms up and overhead, reaching the fingertips all the way onto the floor behind you. As you reach the fingertips, point the toes, get a nice good stretch in the body. And then as you exhale, float the arms back down as you flex the feet, the toes again point up towards the ceiling. So do that a couple times. And as you do that movement, think of the shoulders staying heavy on the mat, inhaling, reaching up and overhead, pointing through the toes and reaching the fingers, and exhales again, float the arms back down. And this time, one more time, float the arms up and overhead, reach to the fingers, point the toes. This time as you exhale, float the arms down, draw the right knee in towards the chest, hugging that knee in, getting a little hip flexion. So both feet are flexed, the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, shoulders still heavy on the mat. Inhaling and exhaling, and then taking that right knee and gently shift it a little over to the right and a little back towards the center and over to the left. So just take a little movement here side to side with that knee. Starting to just get a little movement in that hip joint. Make sure you're breathing. And then let's bring the right hand to the top of the knee. Let the left hand either rest down by your side or you can rest it on that point of that left hip to remind this left hip and this left thigh to stay down. And then just begin to circle this right knee. So as you circle the knee, as you press it away, you may feel a little stretch in the back of the shoulder. That's great. Add a little added bonus in there. But just circling the knee, bending the elbow, draw the knee towards you, and then as the knee presses away, get that little stretch in the arm and the shoulder, and then circle the opposite direction. Keep that left leg extended, toes flexed. And then once again, bring that knee back into center, hug that knee in. Now bend the left knee, sole the foot to the floor, and bring the right ankle just above the left knee, opening that knee out to the side. And then picking the left leg up off the mat, left foot up off the mat, take the left hand to the outer part of the left thigh, right hand in between the legs, the thighs, clasping behind that left thigh. So let the left foot just relax, keep the right foot flexed. And for as much sensation as you want to feel in this right hip, just gently draw that left knee a little towards you. You can even think of pressing, not with your hand, but think of pressing that right knee a little away for a little bit more sensation. Inhaling and exhaling. Shoulders are still heavy. Again, we're letting the upper body relax and just doing some work for the lower body today. Now let the left foot release back down. We're going to keep the right leg crossed just like it is, that ankle just above the knee. Bring the arms out into a T position by your side. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, gently let the knees release over, the legs release over to the left. So maybe that right foot comes down to the mat, and that right knee is still pointing up towards the ceiling. So we're getting this nice stretch all the way in the outside of that right hip. You may feel it up into that QL, quadratus lumborum muscle into the back, iliotibia band out the side of the leg. You can gently roll the head to the right if you'd like. Inhaling and exhaling. And then as you come back to center, let the head come back to center. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, think of using those core muscles to help bring you back up. And then take that right leg, give it a little hug in, little squeeze in, gently extend the left leg, extend the right leg. Pause for a moment, feel the connection again that the body's making with the earth. Notice if the right hip and the left hip feel a little different. Inhaling and exhaling. And then once again, float the arms up and overhead. Inhale, reaching through the fingers, point the toes, nice good stretch. And then exhale, float the arms down, draw the left knee in towards the chest, hugging that left knee in. So as you go through the sequence on the second side, notice if there's a difference in sensation or your movement range of motion with this hip compared to the right one. So shift the knee a little to the left and a little back to center and a little to the right. Again, always steady flow with your breath. And then bringing that left knee back in, again, give it a good hug, good squeeze. And then left hand on the top of that left knee, right hand again, either resting on the point of the hip or the thigh, that right thigh, and then just start to circle this left knee. You can let that left foot relax now. Again, just find that circular movement, that size that feels good for you, and then go the opposite direction. And again, at that extension, when that knee is going away from you, you might feel that little traction in that shoulder, which is great. And then once again, coming back to center. Now bend the right knee, right foot to the floor, left ankle just above the right knee. Open that left knee out to the side. So just that movement, you'll already start to feel a little sensation in that left hip. And then as you bring the right foot up and that right knee towards you, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. As you draw that knee towards you, you can think of pressing the right knee towards you, think of pressing the left knee again a little away, so you're feeling that stretch in the outside of that left hip. Inhale and exhale again, shoulders still heavy, steady breath. And then very gently release the right foot back down. So again, we're going to keep the left leg just like it is. Arms again out by your side, T position. Now as you let the legs release over to the right, so we're going to make contact of that mat maybe, or the floor with that left foot. Maybe not, that's fine. Let the head roll to the left. So again, you're feeling that sensation all up the outside of the left hip, left side of the body. And then once again, as you take your next exhale, we're thinking of drawing that belly in. Use those core muscles to help you come all the way back up. Again, drawing that left knee in, and then place the left leg down, extend the right leg, extend the left leg. Once again, notice how the body feels. Inhaling and exhaling. So now find your strap. Take the strap, unrolling the strap, or whatever you're using for your strap. Again, it can be a lead rope, a tie, a long scarf, but take the strap across the ball of the right foot, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So one end of the strap in each hand, shoulders are still heavy on the mat. If you have a bend in your knee with the leg up towards the ceiling, then lower the leg down a little bit so you can straighten the back of that leg. So we're going to get a nice stretch all up the back of the hamstrings. Inhale and exhale. So think of pressing through the heel, flexing the toes back towards you. Inhale and exhale. So again, nice stretch all up the back of that leg, those nice hamstring muscles there. Inhale and exhale. So then we're going to add a little core into this next part. So take both ends of the strap in the right hand. Bring your left arm out to the mat beside you. So arm extends out shoulder height. Press into the palm, the shoulder, back of the shoulder, the hip and the heel of that left side. And then slowly begin to open your leg. If you imagine the leg is at 12 o'clock when it's pointing up towards the ceiling, think of a clock. Then slowly begin to open the leg out to 1 o'clock. The point of this whole little sequence is to engage the core and keep this back of the left hip on the mat. So if your left hip starts to roll up and you start to shift over to the side, then come back up, reground that left hip, and again, extend that leg out a little to the side. Maybe goes a little out towards 2 o'clock if you still have that hip grounded. Inhaling and exhaling. Press through both heels. Again, working those core muscles. And then inhale, come all the way back up to center. Take both ends of the strap now in your left hand, bring your right arm out to the side. So we're gonna start again, think if this is 12 o'clock, start to just bring the leg a little across the midline to 11 o'clock. So you're gonna feel this nice stretch in the outside of that right leg and the back of that right, the muscle in that outer edge of that hamstring muscle. And then we're gonna let ourselves release all the way over into a twist. So gently let yourself release all the way to your side. You can bend your elbow and land your elbow as a little kickstand here. So let yourself roll up onto the side of your left hip now. So we're intensifying again that stretch through the outside of that right leg, press through that heel. Inhale and exhale. And then again, as you take your next exhale, you draw that lower belly in and inhale, come all the way back up, release the strap, and then very slowly, just arms comfortably by your side, nice deep inhales and exhales, slowly lower the leg back down to the mat. So inhaling and exhaling. Imagine that the leg is moving through molasses. Inhale and exhale. And as that leg comes down to the mat, notice if it feels like the leg is longer. Does it almost feel like it's lower than the other leg? Does it feel like maybe your yoga mat almost feels like it's on a slant right now? Just notice how you feel. And then nice deep inhale, exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest. And we'll do that same sequence on the second side. So one end of the strap in each hand, strap across the ball of the left foot, extend the left leg up. So just as we did with that first sequence, side to side, notice the difference with the legs here. We usually have a stronger leg, so sometimes it equates to tighter muscles, especially in the hamstrings. Inhale and exhale. So press up through that left heel. And again, if you need to lower that leg down a little bit to take the bend out of the knee, do that. Inhale and exhale. So again, working on that nice stretch in those hamstring muscles. And when we think of the stretch in the hamstring muscle, you want to feel it in the belly of the muscle, the big part of the muscle, not at the insertion point or the origination point at the sit bone or the insertion point behind the knee. So modify that as needed. You don't want to feel any twinging behind the knee or at the sit bone. You want to feel a nice stretch in the hamstring muscle, big belly of the muscle. Now, both ends of the strap in the left hand, bring your right arm out to the side. Nice deep inhale, exhale. Think again, if we're looking at a clock, now we're going to open that leg a little over towards 11 o'clock. Make sure that right hip is still grounded and maybe go a little more towards 10. Again, make sure that right hip is still in connection with the mat. Fire up that core. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Bring both ends of the strap into the right hand. Bring your left arm out to the side. So take the leg just across the midline. Think 1 o'clock, aiming towards 1 o'clock on the face of your clock. Feel that stretch in that outside of that left hip. And then as we take this into our twist, let yourself roll up onto the side of the right hip. Let that leg come out to that left leg cross over. Again, bend that elbow. It's like a little kickstand here. And then you can press through that left heel. Maybe roll your head to the left if you like. Make sure you're breathing. And then as you take your next exhale, again, think of inhale lengthening. As you exhale, draw the belly in. Use that power to bring you back up. And then releasing the strap once again. Slowly, 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 lower that leg down. Again, think of it moving through molasses, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling And exhaling again as it lowers down. Notice how it feels. Maybe not as dramatic as the first side, but you might notice it feels a little longer or the hip feels a little lower. Inhaling and exhaling. So one more time, inhale, float the arms up and overhead, reach to the fingers, point the toes. And this time as you exhale, draw both knees in towards the chest, give them a little hug. Then crisscross the feet at the ankles, lift the feet and the hips up gently, rock yourself up to seated. And as you come up to seated, just come to a comfortable position. You can sit cross-legged or up on the heels. Just let the eyes close, maybe turn the palms up for a few moments. Focus on your breath, notice how you feel. And then as you're ready, gently let the eyes open. So that's our practice today, a little work for the hips and for the core while we were down there. So hopefully you enjoyed that sequence. Again, it's a great, really supported way to get some stretches in the hips because we are in contact with the mat, lying down that whole sequence. So it can be very beneficial to help you get a release in the hips when the rest of your body is supported. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day, and I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.